Okay, so that's my basic presentation. We're going to kind of continue with questions if you have any. We want to take questions first and comments, if any, later, because I really want to just, if somebody's confused about something or needs help, not a reading, but just questions. You have questions about what I said about something maybe that I missed, that you have a question about this type of communication or relationship. And after that, if there's time, if people just want to comment or share something that happened to them, we'll do that. But the priority is questions and no readings. All right, I see Portia has her hand up.
Okay, so I'm unmuted. So it's not that I'm not trying to complicate it, but like when he says he's going to hold your hand and you're going to feel that and you're going to walk on the beach with him, are you in a sense creating a different dimension in which the two of you do that? Or is he walking on the beach? Is he walking on Waikiki Beach in this plane with you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He says, first of all, okay. We all know. What? What do you think?
I made it complicated.
He goes, yeah, he knows that you like to make it complicated. It's okay. He says, yeah, it's kind of like you can create your own reality, your own reality bubble, if you will. Okay, that other people wouldn't see him. But you and I know, I think most of us know that there are people who do see dead people. Yeah. Like they see them as if they're 3D, but when they touch them, like their hand goes through them, like, oh, they're not real. Like they're dead. Okay, so we know it's already possible to see them, right? And he's leaning me towards seeing him in that way more and more. But he said, I don't even have to necessarily see him the way I'm describing. That I'll feel that I'm feeling him. It's so hard to explain. It's like he had me like have my hand and rub my hand like this and say, okay, imagine that's my hand. Like your hand is my hand. He said, because we've merged, he and I have merged. So he says, your body is my body. He actually has been able to kind of like take over my body, if you will, like inhabit it. And for example, like we've all been through this, right? Like you're out somewhere and you go, oh, I really need to go to the bathroom or something, or my stomach's upset, or I'm going to throw up, or I need to go to the toilet, whatever, right? And you go, oh God, you know what? Can I get out of? I'm in the shopping line, or he's come in and told me, you're good. I'm going to take over. What? I go, what are you talking about? He goes, you'll be fine. Just stay in line and buy your groceries. I go, okay. And I'm like kind of like nervous about it, like, no, I think I should get out of line. No, just stay. You'll be fine. And sure enough, like I'm fine. And I go, how do you do that? He goes, because I'm one with you, I can take over. Okay. Oh, really? So it's like, he says, so like that. Okay. It's like, so he said, so this is a process of evolving to where you can create your own reality. We're all creating these fluctuating realities all the time anyway. They're different realities based on our beliefs and everything. So he says you can create that. But, and I don't pretend to know the whole thing. He hasn't really explained the whole thing to me. He just says just take the incremental journey. Just like imagine feeling me. I had to take clay at one point and mold it and practice like imagining that clay was his head or his face. And that was one exercise that it's going to be in our book. But now he's saying, just feel the tech, because the psychic was helping me, said, you can feel his eyebrows, can't you? And I go, yeah, it's really weird. I have a sense of his eyebrows. I have a sense of his hair. I can feel it like on my hands already. She says, right. So you're just making him real in the physical by your opening to your senses. But I have to, open my heart. I had to forgive myself and him. I had to, really just stay in this expanded state. So yeah, it takes a little while, but believe me, I'll give everybody the full report on it, because he says, that's what we're here, Pam. We're exploring the frontier. And then writing back and saying, this is how it is. Okay, here are the field notes. Here's the guide. This is what you do. And you may have your own experience too. Don't think that we're necessarily the experts, because my experience is a little different, because I have to be very grounded in my body to bring Alan into this reality. That was the agreement. He had to stay there and I had to be here. And so I can't be ungrounded. I really have to be grounded. Right. Other people, a lot of other people don't have to do that. They can open up more. They can be less grounded than I am, but I can't. So, okay, Sean, you can jump in here if you have something to say.
People already get, like with my mom, that was before I even saw her, she grabbed my arm.
Right.
And it's unmistakable. So my answer to Portia's thing would be both of what she said could happen. You never, like, as your consciousness raises and he's able to, and then you intersect.
I think that kind of one time or a few time kind of experience can happen, but in order to have it be ongoing, you have to kind of, because they have to come down to our level, we have to come up to their level, right? We have to kind of meet. So they can come down, he says, for a bit, but they can't stay. Right. So they can't hold it here. So, but we raise up, then we could stay together. Does that make sense? Like but it takes work on our part, because they only can do so much. So.
And the environment we're in also. So if you're in a portal kind of area that's got better energy, if that makes sense. Like in Hawaii, we have areas, Manoa and stuff like that, or the mountain you live on.
I have a good example. I remember. Am I unmuted? I have a good example. When I was in Florida, and I was with my friend Ginny. Her husband, who had just passed, he came up behind her, and I could see him. I could visually see him in our dimension. Hug her. He gave her this huge hug, and I said, "Ginny, do you feel that?" And she kind of looked at me like, "You want me to say yes?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I can feel him." I'm like, she didn't feel him. I think I know the difference, because I could see Bobby hugging her really tight to try to let her know I'm right here, and she couldn't get it. She couldn't get it. So I think that's what flashed through my head. I think I understand.
I was once doing a live, and my friend Swati was on it. She was watching it, and she said, "Pam, did you just see Alan? He came right up to you, kissed you on the cheek, and he's looking at you with this really dopey, goofy, I love you so much look on his face." I said, "No." And she goes, "Well, he did. He has this goofy, lovey-dovey look on his face." And she was just laughing. I said, "Oh, I believe it." She goes, "Yeah, he does." He says he does that all the time because he can. And I'm not going to get irritated. Hey, leave me alone. I'm working here. I used to. I'd go, "You're bothering me." And he goes, "No, I can come up to Pam and kiss her on her neck. I kiss her on her cheek. And she lets me. She does it. She's happy. And I can do what I want. I'm so happy." He goes, He says that's how they are, because they know we can't all. He says, in a way, it'll be funny when I can feel him, because then he says he can see me go, "Alan, could you just sit over there? Just leave me alone for a minute. I got to work on this." Yeah. And he says he'll actually be really happy when that happens, because he knows that, okay, you can feel me and see me. So I'm annoying you like he used to annoy me.
Thank you for the explanation. I'm understanding that everything you said. It makes sense.
Sherry McGuire has a question that she typed into the chat.
All right.
And she says, are they able to send songs to us at specific times when they know we're listening to the radio?
Yeah.
How do they do that?
Well, you have a good answer for that, because your mom does that all the time.
Yeah,
your mom does that. Alan doesn't do that so much for me, but he says, yeah, because remember, they're completely psychics. They can manipulate electronics, make things happen. They can, on the other side, can even
they know everything. So when it's a specific times.
Well, they can they come through radios. They come through radios that are not plugged in, or that are busted. Right? We had
it's not like you're necessarily listening. In my case, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and all of a sudden I hear something and I know to listen now. I mean, so it's not just like, you know, they know, oh, he's going to be driving to work at 8 in the morning. No. Let's catch him then. Like it could be anywhere. And it has, you know, like it can be in a drugstore or waiting at a doctor's office or whatever. And all this, you just know, you feel it. The vibration's different.
Because they're part of us, and because you're really sensitive. So, and for most of us are sensitive. So they can give us the impulse to, well, I feel like I need to go here, or I need to do, like, and they'll go, because it's them going, okay, go here because I'm going to send you a song there or something, or, right? Like, why do we do the things we do, right? Why do I look at the clock and it says 4:44? What made me look at the clock? Something nudged me to go look at the clock. There's no random thing. It's like, why do I do that? Why do you do anything? You're being influenced all the time in a positive way, because they're part of us. They're part of our being. He says, yeah, they're just part of us. We think that we're separate beings living these separate lives. He goes, guys, they've got it totally wrong. You're connected all the time. You're part of a collective. You never came here to be isolated, and you cannot be isolated. It's your illusion you're living that you're isolated.
And we also think the thoughts in our head are all ours. So a lot of people don't realize, no, everything in your head going on, it's not yours. You may think it's all you, but we gather all this information.
Yeah, it's you and it's other, right? It's not just you. It's you too, but it's a group mind, kind of your group mind.
So if you have that thought that comes in, acknowledge it's a thought, then is this my thought? Or is it, you know, that's a way to then discern, oh, no, maybe that, you know. So that first impulse, go turn on the radio. Well, actually, it's not usually go turn it on. It's usually it's already playing somewhere. But you'll hear it from a distance. Like in my case, I've had a car waiting. You know, I go down to the lobby of my building, and there's a car waiting, and I hear the music playing from a car, and I just know, they use what's ever available.
Well,
whoever's available also.
Yep, they use whoever's available. We're all messengers for each other, right? And they can certainly talk to the animals, like birds are easy. And if anybody is in my group and you haven't watched that video I did with Genevieve, who tested Alan, who said, please send me signs. I want to see an eagle, gullah, I don't know if I say that, galahs and pelicans. Like, she wanted these birds to, he ended up giving her all of the birds, including the pelicans, which apparently are really hard to talk to, he told her, because they don't like to listen to people. They just turn away, like, I don't want to listen to you. And he said, I'm going to try to talk to them to get them to fly over you, but I'm letting you know, it's really hard. It took him a week. He got 17 pelicans to come to her. 17. He was showing off. The one pelican almost like land was over her swimming pool looking right down at them. And since that happened, which was in February, she hasn't seen a pelican since, except far, far away, like one, because they're not really in her area in Sydney, Australia. So we're going to share her story in our book too, because it was quite amazing. But she tested it. She says, bring me an eagle. Boom, here's an eagle. It was 2 eagles, actually. Bring me the galahs, 2 of them, like right across your car. And then the pelican, he said, gotta wait, I gotta talk them into it. And then he ended up, they were hovering over her house. They were doing all these things. And she was like screaming, like, oh my God, oh my God. So yeah, he was just showing off. And I'm saying this about Alan, but so can other loved ones do that. Okay, he says he's just really determined with the birds, and he loves birds. He's always really, really had an affinity for birds because he said he lived on a bird planet in another life. I don't know. He's still sticking to that story. I lived on a bird planet.
And and butterflies are easy for them, so they don't have to be as strong as Alan to do butterflies. So if you notice butterflies, that's a real easy one. But Vivian asked, and you've already answered this, but you can answer it more because I think it's important. She wanted to know, how do we raise our vibration?
Well, it starts first by, you really have to forgive yourself and them, especially if you're trying to contact them, because most people have had issues with, even if it's just a friend, right? Nobody has a perfect relationship. And if it's a partner, for sure, it's not a perfect relationship because you're together to learn. So there's some forgiveness you need to do on both sides, your side and theirs. Well, not so much their side. They automatically forgive us because they've reemerged into unconditional love. But we need to forgive them. So you got to do that because he says people don't realize how all the pain and their limiting beliefs and resentment, how that just lowers your vibration. It keeps you so dense and heavy, and how it affects you. It gives you stress. So that would be one thing, because vibration is not as simple as, oh, I'll just meditate it away. It's, that'll help. But if you've got deep-rooted fears and issues and insecurities, you're going to have to, clear that. But he's saying that they on the other side can help you do that. And certainly them giving you their love will help heal a lot of that, because that's what he did for me. He kept pouring this love over me, and the resentment, it's like the love would just bring this stuff up, would be like, start expelling it. And because I remember this happened. This was right when he asked me, he proposed to me, he wanted to marry me again. And I was really happy. I was really happy about that. And then I got really angry, like out of the blue, like boom. And I go, why am I so angry? And I was yelling at him all day long, going, you're such an asshole. I was going off the rails. I was so angry for 2 days. Okay. I was like so angry. I said, you did this to me, you did that to me, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, on and on and on. And I could feel he was just going, mm-hmm. He even told my friend Swati, she's going to get upset at me. I know that. She knew this before it happened. He said you were going to get upset. That she's going to have to get all that out of her system. So I just ranted and raved and got upset and cried, and it was really bad. Finally, Swati goes, okay, did you get it all out? I go, I think so. She goes, you want to talk about it? I go, okay. She goes, you do know that you set all this up between the two of you. I go, I do get that. She goes, so that's good. But you do need to, vent all of that. And now that you know that, yeah, it's all an illusion. It's all like a movie that we crafted, that roles that we played, and that we're supposed to do that. I get it. She said, and it's all right. And you feel better now? I go, yeah, I feel better. I feel, and I could hear him more. I could perceive him more. But that was a big chunk of it. And then that lifted me. Okay, that opened me up more. And I could hear him more, feel better. But there was still more to come even after that. Like even after we got remarried and stuff, I got angry again. Like, nothing has changed. What is this? We got married and nothing has changed. Like you're still, I'm still stuck in my story of what you did to me. You're still the same. You're still complacent, or whatever I was telling myself. And he said, okay, just take a breath. It's going to take time. Just, I love you. Just cry, be upset, whatever. He just said, just keep going. Just let yourself have your feelings, let yourself have the cry. So he's saying, as far as raising your vibration, it means you have to start unpacking all the stuff you stored away, because there's no easy road to this. You can't take a magic pill and go, my vibration's raised. We've got to root out what isn't in alignment with this love they're giving us. But don't worry, because if they're giving you that love, it does start expelling all of that. It's like it's going to come up, because he says it's designed to. Like the love is, he says, is such a high vibration that if it meets something that isn't match it, it's going to just trigger it to come to the surface, to be released. And I still do that on occasion a little bit. It's not as dramatic anymore. Just like I cry about something and then it's gone. I feel like, oh, that was good. That helped.
I think you said forgiveness. Did you? I don't remember if I heard you say that.
Forgiveness. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't hold a grudge and feel unconditional love at the same time. So no. It's either or, make a choice, and right. You have to get rid of the energy and the grudges that we're holding on to.
Because whatever you're holding against somebody, you're really holding against yourself, because we're one. So if I'm upset with Sean, I'm really upset with myself. So it doesn't matter. Like, I'm included. Like, I can't separate from whoever I'm judging. So I'm condemning myself. So I really forgive for my own self-interest, to be honest with you, because I want to feel better. I want to feel whole. I want to feel loved. So I can't feel love if I'm condemning, right? But that's what this love that they give us does. It just brings all that up, because that's what happened to me. I was feeling amazing one day. The next day, I was like, somebody threw me off a cliff, and I was like screaming at him, like, whoa, where did that come from? He goes, you're purging. The love is bringing up stuff that needs to be purged so that you can match my vibration. Otherwise, we can't be together.
And they will help us if we ask. We can always ask for help. If we can't let go of something, ask for help.
But we do have to ask, and then surrender to that and trust what the guidance is, trust what starts happening. But he's saying for all of us, there's so much support on the other side that we're not really taking advantage of. We're not realizing it, how loved we are, how supported we are, like always, and how life is supposed to be miraculous and magical, even in these crazy times we're living in. He says he wants everybody to remember this. Okay, these are the hard times that we came in for, but they're also going to be the most miraculous times that we came for. Okay, they're both like the hardest, harshest, the most devastating in some ways, respects, and yet the most miraculous, amazing, and magical. So decide which kind of life you want to live. And know that that harsh reality is there and everybody's having the drama, but you're saying, I want to be on this side. I want to lean more for the miracles and the love, and let spirit in, let the higher realms come in to guide us, because that's what we're meant to do during this time of ascension and the changes on the planet right now, because they want to help us, and they can. He said, and they have.
Yeah, it's us pushing them away. I mean, all of those false beliefs that we think about us and them and the world is what is blocking us from feeling the love. So, okay, so there's more questions in the chat. So Mindy, she wants to know if they take requests. In other words, can we ask our loved ones for specific songs? Like, for example, can we ask them to see a specific image or a specific song? So
you can ask for sides. You can tell them, I want a certain song, or I want you to send me a feather, or I want whatever, but then just let it go. Let that be. He says, don't think this is like McDonald's where you place your order and you go to the window and you go pick it up.
Right, because then they may send you a beautiful sign just for you, but because you're expecting, something certain, you're going to completely miss whatever they did. So that's the other thing. It's not McDonald's, but they can. It's just, I would work up to that.
Like Genevieve, she wanted him to prove himself, okay? But she was open to him, because there's a difference when somebody's saying, I want to prove you, but I'm not sure about you. So they're closing down their energy, and then you can't do anything because this is an interactive reality. So if they shut down their energy, you can't deliver what you just give. So she's open to him, just saying, okay, but I want, proof, but I'm open, because she knows spirit can do that. She's seen it constantly since she was 2. So he did deliver. Somebody else she told to do that, or wanted to kind of test him, but they were more closed. Well, he's got to prove this. and he's like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You don't just demand, you give this to me. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, so here, this is good, I guess. So grandma was almost 90. This is from Eddie. So grandma was almost 90 when she passed, and I think lived a sheltered life. Will she be able to relate to all this spiritual stuff and understand how to heal and communicate when I contact her? Or does she need training? I see her saying she can.
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah, so is there a course up there?
There's a course for everything. But he's saying, well, certainly some cross over and they go, wow, I didn't know it was like this. like it's like this. I thought, I had a different expectation. Or they don't believe it, and then they're insisting like, this can't be heaven. This cannot be heaven. So they're going to create like what they want it to be, because you get to do that. You get to have what you want, right? But eventually they kind of come around and go, oh, okay, I could change it if I want to. But he says, yeah, she can come through. They figure it out. And he says, in her case, the grandmother, like, oh, she's smart. Like, she figured it out. Like, oh, okay, I get it. I get what the program is. Okay. Does that make sense to, I know we get an answer from.
Yeah. And also to add, it's amazing when the bell is dropped, it's amazing what we all get to see, because it's quite eye-opening. So, but some people, like, maybe start with butterflies. But then some people are more advanced as they go to the other side. They know it all, they're ready to get right to work doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And here's something else. So a lot of them also are really powerful when they first go over. And their energy is really strong, which is like what I felt before, where like overpoweringly. And so then they have to learn how to like dial it down.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's true. Some of them is really intense, and others, they're just weakened. They're kind of weakened energetically. They're just not, this depends how they crossed over, and they'll be fine. It's just that, like here, some people are really vibrant and, more energy, and some people are like slow. They're just barely walking along. So that answers the question.
Yeah, I think that, let's see. So I think this one was answered, but we'll do it again because I think it's important. So it's a similar question. Pam, and this from Susan Meyer. Pam is very grounded, and that seems to me a positive thing. However, if a person isn't so grounded, can the soul world be more real than the three-dimensional unreality here? May that we create a situation that is unbalancing to a person who is, I'm not sure what she means by that, but how may we best prepare ourselves to accept the many dimensions of reality? I think what the answer is to that, be open. Don't think you know everything. Just open yourself and be open that I would just say be open. Because if you have expectations, that's when it can be troubling.
See, I have to be grounded with Alan to anchor him into this world. It just means it's going to take longer for me to do some of these things, because I other people could just go, phew, like they're just, super empaths or something. Like he says, I couldn't be like that because it would have been not useful for what he and I are doing. And I needed to be really here. And I'd have other healers tell me, like, you're really grounded, aren't you? I go, yeah. And they go, and sometimes it's actually kind of hard on you because you can't feel things, right? And I go, right. So it seems like it's a strength, and it is really, to be really well grounded. But on the flip side of it, it's like I sometimes can't tell if something really is distressing me because I'm so here that I can't sense the subtler things because I'm so in a body. But Genevieve told me that I'm the stronger one between Alan and me. He said he always knew that, and that I had to be, because she says, I understand and accept and know the other side, and I understand and accept this reality. So I had to be in both worlds to traverse both of them, because I was going to be here. And Alan didn't. He was more like always like up there, always out there, always out of his body, always, floating around. And I was always here, like the worker, like the one who grounds everything, does the work, is kind of, like that. And I said, great, I get to have the hard job. He goes, because you're more involved, Pam. I go, see, what benefit is there being more involved? You get the hard job. Okay. You get to do more of the work. But the point I'm trying to make with this is if not everybody's like me, because that's kind of a good thing. You want to be grounded, but I'm so grounded that it's going to take me longer to do some of these things, which other people could have a faster track with. Like just go, like boom, okay, because they don't have to. I'm like, all right, on some level, I'm kind of gauging myself with Alan on an unconscious level, like, okay, is this okay? But at some point, we're going to merge more on that level, like where I can go really high and he can come, but we're still like, we're there, we're merged, but it's hard to explain, where there's going to be a full integration of it so that I will be able to like see him and feel him and know all this stuff and be really out there and still be really here. But that's our bridge, our particular bridge to do the healing work. But not everybody's doing like what we're doing.
And self-compassion. Being compassionate with yourself. If you don't have, I think if your life isn't all grounded and there's a lot of struggles that you're working through, have self-compassion, because your loved ones have compassion for you. So feel that. I think that might be helpful to them, because it is possible in the middle of a chaotic life and a lot of trauma to actually access the help that is available to us. If we can feel some compassion for ourselves, those of us that aren't as balanced.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think I went through most of the questions. Does anybody else you want to raise your hand? Anybody?
So I want to talk about a comment that just came in from Jacqueline, who's in our group. She says, a few times, more than 5 times, my daughter had a feeling to pick up flowers on her way home from work, to have fresh flowers for me to wake up to and to brighten the area, the kitchen. I didn't think too much of it. Then this last week, it dawned on me, my husband is asking her to do this. He would on holidays or occasions have flowers for me in the morning to wake up to. And Alan says, yeah, he's absolutely doing that. Like, that's how they work, right? Like, oh, can you do that? They put the idea in somebody's head. Like, could you go do this? Could you do that? So yeah,
they will use the most open person to do it.
Yeah.
I think in that case, her daughter was.
Yeah, they do things like that all the time, and then we just, most people just say, "Oh yeah, well that's nice." They won't put it together. Like, wait a minute, my husband used to do that for me. Maybe he's doing that now. Yep. They can do that. Put the thought in their head, the impulse, especially to his daughter.
So loved ones that have passed on, they can serve as guides too, like if I have a question, or should I eat this food? Is this good for me? Do they have access to that knowledge of our physical body that way?
He says some do, some don't. Like, it depends, because it depends who your loved one is, right? Like, it's not like everybody crosses over and now they're completely in touch with higher mind and God, and they know everything. Like they got the download on everything. Everyone's working, through that, expanding their consciousness. So maybe he says,
and we always have free will and you can have boundaries. So nobody has access to your body if you don't invite them on one way.
But you're asking if they can guide you, like with your diet and food. Sometimes he's saying that if they were in tune like that when they were here, like if they were a healer, let's say they were a healer or they were a nutritionist or whatever they were, right? They already had the skill,
right?
And they cross over, they can still have that. They can still help. And that's probably more expanded because now they're there. Does that make sense? But if somebody wasn't like that and then they cross over, it's like, not really likely, but he says there always could be exceptions. But
they can get healing, right? I mean, if I ask, okay, Grandma, I need some healing, would she need training?
Again, that's like, it depends on the soul. He's saying it's hard. There's not a one size, fits all answer to that, because it really depends on the soul we're talking about. But they can't certainly give you their love and healing in that sense. Yeah, like for sure. Oh, and he's saying that there are many times if somebody's really sick that their loved ones do come around, not just one, like many will come around to give that person healing. We'll try to help them and we'll come in, especially if we call them in. But he says, even if they don't call them in, like they come in anyway, because if that's like a parent or a partner, they'll come in and do what they can. They're always doing what they can to help. But yeah, you have your free will. So if the soul is saying, because it's in charge, and saying, no, but it's my time to cross, like I'm not going to recover from this, it's my time to exit, then the healing is not really going to help. They're going to be healed to pass over. They're going to have an easy exit, because now the healing is just going to help them go through the veil. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And there could be healing, but not necessarily of the body.
Right.
So I could ask Alan to please help me.
That's what he's here for. He wants everybody to ask him to help.
Yeah.
Because he said from day one, he goes, the more people ask me for help, the stronger I get. The stronger I get, the more I can help. And I'm here to help. And a friend of mine who knew Alan from when I married him said, who's very intuitive, a very spiritual person. He said he was shocked when I told him that Alan had passed. He said, I knew that Alan's supposed to help with the ascension, that he's a critical part of helping us with ascension. How could he have died? I go, I don't know. I guess he's helping from over there now. And then my friend said, oh, of course, that's what he's doing. He's going to help from the other side. And I said, yeah, I had to be out of my body and take on my gifts to do what I'm here to do. I couldn't be in a body and do it. So I had to leave. And now I have everything. And he says, and I had people tell me, and all I can do is say, this is what they've said to me. Okay, we're going to find out for ourselves. I've had many people tell me, when that book gets published, because Alan comes along with that book, when people buy it, watch out, because he's going to show up when people read that book, and a lot of things are going to start happening. And my friend Swati even said, she goes, the world will actually be a better place when Alan is more in it, and that book is the door opening to it. I don't know. I mean, that sounds pretty wild to me. So, I'm just.
Well, I thought I saw him after your talk this morning in a gray suit. And I said,
yeah, that's his hospital scrubs.
He in a gray suit. So
that's what he wears when he goes to the hospital.
He put on a black shirt.
Okay.
It's like, I said, do you have to be so formal in a gray suit?
He wears a gray suit when he's going to a hospital setting or a medical setting, when he's helping somebody, because he gets called in to help people who are sick, who are in a hospital. So he'll show up like that. Does that make sense? So that's his uniform. He says, because he wants to be taken seriously. So he's not going to show up in t-shirts and shorts. He's going to wear that's his official outfit, if you will. So many people have told me that, like, oh yeah, my mother saw Alan, she's in the hospital, he was wearing a gray suit. I know, they don't even know that that's what he always wears, but they're telling me he was wearing a gray suit.
A white shirt. And then I said,
yeah.
Hi. And so then he put on a black shirt. I said, I don't know if that's any better.
He's saying, oh, I can't please her. I give up.
Yeah. I love you, Alan.
He says, call on him for help. Because I know you're a strong medium and everything and a champ. So he says, he can easily talk to you. He'll tell you, like, trust me. I have friends who tell me, like, he'll say, no, don't eat that, eat that. But where's Maria? Maria's on, aren't you on the call, Maria? Like, he tells Maria, like, what to put in her smoothie. No, not that, this. Like what she needs for today. That's just an example. Okay, so he'll tell you, like, no, you don't need that. You should eat this today or wherever or whatever. Like, he'll tell you, especially if you're already able to hear spirit, which you are, and know. He says, he'll tell you. He's telling me right now, he says, Edie, I'll get you sorted out. Just listen to me.
Thank you, Alan.
He says, as far as that, like what to eat or what to take or all that kind of thing, he says, yeah, he can help you with that. That's not hard because you already can hear him. And he says it's not hard for anybody.
I think Susan Meyer, did you have a question? Did you have a question, Susan?
Hi, Susan.
Hi. Yeah, my question actually related to learning how not to feel overwhelmed by the spirit world. And I'm just going through a lot of changes right now. And I'm an empath. So I just like, I can feel like bowled over. But my son knows how to talk to me where I feel like he talks to me like from inside myself, and he's very, very gentle and very, I'm pretty sure it's him because he helped me find lost keys from my car the other day. But with some of the spirits, I feel like, I guess I'm still letting go of resentments from this lifetime with some of my relatives, where I'm embarrassed to say that because I've done a lot of spiritual work for a lot of years and I thought I would have let go of that, but I don't know. It just keeps feeling like, yeah, you get bailing out and bailing out and bailing out, you know, all the resentments, and you know how useless they are. I'm just hoping that soon that they just are finished bailing out, because I think this was a star lifetime. There was a lot that happened and a lot of pain. And some of it I feel was a setup by the higher powers so that it was like a homeopathic remedy to bring up enlightenment quickly, you know. But I still get overwhelmed by, I think, the grief over, like, how can there be so much grief when there's so much love? They just seem to be incompatible, but yet they exist at the same time. And I think
is this grief over your son? Still over your son?
The grief is more over the marriage that my son was born out of, and early childhood experiences of abuse that got me set up to be married to somebody who didn't really love me. Well, he did love me, but he did, you know, the human conditional love is very different than real love. So a lot of us, we go through some karmic love experiences that can lead to painful things. And I didn't feel that my son got support. And he didn't feel like he got enough support, but he had a wonderful life anyway. God was supporting him. And, but I have a hard time, and I'll keep asking Alan, and my son is working with me too, because
yeah, your son is trying to help you through this, because you're still living. Grief comes from living in the past and looking back and wishing it was different, wishing they were still here, wishing they were, you know, didn't act that way, or wishing that we hadn't gotten hurt or whatever, and so it's never going to feel, you know, good, right? But he's saying that your son is gotten stronger, because I know he came through in reading, right, that we did for you back when, and he's gotten stronger and stronger, and he's trying to help you to release that and know that it was all happened the way it was meant to happen. Like all the challenges, all the suffering, all the pain. And once you really understand that this was designed by your souls, it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be, you know, forgiveness that's offered to you too, okay, from the other side. Like I know your ex is probably still in the body, right? He's still on the planet. So trust me, when he crosses over, he's going to say, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm so sorry. I really am. But at the same time, we agreed to this for the soul's lesson, our mutual lessons. But I am so sorry, because they they love us, even whatever they did when they crossed it, they love us. But right now, yeah, he can't be that love for you. And of course you're going to mourn, like, why couldn't I have had it a happy marriage? Why couldn't my son have had a better time with his father and with me and with life? And of course you want that. I've mourned that with Alan. Like, why couldn't we have had a fuller relationship? Why couldn't you have opened up to me and been like shared with me everything like you're sharing with me now, but you didn't do that then? Of course that. But then I keep saying, wait a minute, that's done. I need to come back to now because I can't change that. Like I gotta let that go and focus on what am I doing now? So he's saying, so see what you can focus on in the now, because right now, he says, you keep looking back, and doing that opens you up to becoming overly sensitive to what's happening in this world, which is also crazy and traumatic and right and stressful and all that. So he says, yeah, so you're feeling like all of that because you're still living the past, which he says he totally understands why you or any of us do that, but it's not going to be productive. It's like he says you keep hurting yourself by doing that. Like he said, what he's showing me, like hitting yourself, like with that memory, like this.
Flogging.
Yeah, like that, right? Like to punish yourself.
Sense. That makes so much sense. Yeah.
So he says, please just put that down, focus on the now, and talk to your son. I interestingly, your son is on their side, says, Mom, let's be here now. Let's find things to do now. Let's live in this life now. Forget what happened before. It doesn't matter anymore.
And that's where the confusion is that you keep wanting to go back and your son is saying, let's be in the now and the present. And you keep mentioning the person who designed all this. You know who that is. That's you, your higher self. You designed, this is your school. We're all in school. And so that's what we're here to do, is learn. And you've taken a lot of courses, but you need to let go of the old ones. And the person that you really need to forgive is yourself, because you did the best you could do with what you could do. And that's all we can do. And so the more you forgive yourself, the more you're going to feel your son and the more he can guide you.
Thanks.
So compassion, self-compassion, put the flogging away, start loving yourself like your son. Realize how much your son loves you.
Yeah, he does.
This lifetime is such an opportunity, but you have to be present. And the past week, there was a lot of challenges, and now I get to see that pattern and let go of that pattern.
And just choose the love. Just literally, he's trying to love you. Let him. Let him love you, really. Make that choice, because he really loves you. And he's got so much available for you. And so here's just what I keep feeling, but you're like, but this, but that, but this. And it's like, no, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is how much your son loves you and how much he's here to help you. So just let it. Yeah. That's what I thought.
I love you. And I don't know if you see in the chat, but Margaret Ann Schultz, who's in our group, she just shared some useful information, which I totally agree with, suggesting how to manage your empathic sense, about closing your, second and third chakra and working with that. So thanks, Margaret, for adding that. But I would take a look at that. Anybody else hi, Margaret. Anybody else who has issues with that, definitely work on closing the chakras. Really, we should have those lower ones kind of closed, dialed down, and the other ones, can be open, but the lower ones, so a lot of people have them wide open and they're sucking in everybody's energy and wondering like, what the hell is wrong with me?
That radio idea is perfect, because I started doing it several years ago and it really does work. Just imagine that radio dial and just turn all that other stuff down and turn up your son. Yeah,
turn up the volume on your son talking to you. He wants so much to help you and love you. Let him love you, because that love is gonna just dispel all the other stuff. Like he's showing me like he wants to pour that love over you, but you're kind of going, hit. Like, I'll just keep flogging myself. Like, Mom, I want to love you. Just stop it already.
Let me just share one thing with Susan from my grandmother that Pam knows. So when I had an NDE, my grandmother was not there. A lot of other people were. About 3 months later, my grandma came to me. And I was a little bit scared because it's like, and not a little bit, a lot scared, because like, I don't want to go back. And so I thought, oh, great, what are you doing here? Like what? Like now I have to go? And literally I was leery. And you know what she said to me? Just let me love you. She was only here for that. Just let me love you. I'm not taking you back. You can stay a while longer. Just let me love you. And so that's what I feel like your son's saying to you.
He said he needs to love you too. That's what we don't understand. We think like, oh yeah, they want to love me. Alan goes, I need to love you, Pam. I can't live without loving you. And you know, I want your love, but I want to love you. Like, I don't want to just sit here and not give that to you, because that's part of being alive. Remember, your son's alive. It just doesn't have a body, but he's right there saying, let me love you. Let me talk to you. Let me guide you. Let me help you. Let me be part of your life. That's true for anybody who has a loved one on their side. They're still alive. The body is nothing. Nothing. The mind that they are, the consciousness that they are, the energy that they are, lives on eternally. And that's powerful and can do so much, can do anything.
That's a big message also. There really is no death. You know, we just think, I mean, actually the death is on this side. The people
The death is of the physical body. It's not of
right.
being that they are. It's just not, yeah, there's no real death.
But there's a lot of walking dead here in this dimension.
Yeah, there's a lot of the walking dead. He goes, yeah, unfortunately, most people are not alive. They're there in fear. They're playing it safe. They're keeping their heads down. They're just, you know, and it's so funny. He says, because those on their side can bring us back to life. So we need the dead to bring us back to life.
Literally. Some of us know that, who have experienced
you know that. You know that. They literally can step in and bring us back to life. Like, here, come here. You're not done yet. You're coming back to life. They literally can do that. So I don't know. Are we? We're at 2 hours.
Yeah, which not to necessarily do a promo, but we will real quick, because at the IONS online conference.
Oh, yeah.
Starting Wednesday with the workshop, you can actually hear stories of people who have
near death.
At least one guy that I know of who has had angels from the other side that have actually helped him. Like in my case, people from the other side breathed into me when I was on life support and couldn't breathe on my own. So there's going to be at least one person that's sharing that story, and there's going to be 135 speakers sharing amazing stories of how they have been brought back from the other side. So you guys might want to check it out.
And they can check that out. Where are you going to drop the link, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll put the link in here.
But you and I are also doing. We're calling it what, after show? We had a discussion about that.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about that while I find the link.
So the IONS conference that Sean's talking about, International Association of Near-Death Studies conference, we're going to do a part of that at the end of Friday and Saturday nights of the conference on local time, Hawaii time, 5 p.m. Friday, and then also on Saturday night. Sean's going to 5:30. Is it 5:30? Okay, 5:30 Hawaii time. So do the math, like what time it is in your time zone. So that's 11:30 Eastern. 8:30? Yeah, 8:30 for Pacific. And Sean's going to be talking to Gary Malkin. Gary. Well, you can explain more about Gary's amazing work with his music, but it's very much connected to, for him, the helping people cross over to the other side with grace and ease and joy, and this beautiful music. But Saturday night, I'll be interviewed by Sean. But but that is free to join us for the after show.
Yeah, so the conference is the main conference. There's a charge, but it's actually considering it's the largest near-death experience summit of its kind, and so for the price, it's really a good deal. And then there's also workshops that you can sign up for that Pam and I are friends with a lot of the people leading these workshops, and they're all amazing, and they will all help raise your vibrations. I mean, that's what really it all is. But then our event is free, so you don't have to go to that to come to ours. Pam will have more information in her group. I'll have more information in my group, which I think I also stuck the Hawaiian Ions Facebook group in there, so you guys can join that as well. And so we'll have the information in all of those places. But yeah, so Saturday, Pam will share really more of her complete story from the beginning, her humble beginnings in Hawaii, and the things that basically that led her and Alan to where they are now. And what's cool about Pam is you don't have to die to wake up. Some of us have to die to wake up in their death experiences, but a lot of people, it all comes down to the choice, literally, to choose only love. Forgive the world and choose only love is pretty much, and so we're going to be sharing those really cool stories.
I really think Alan's telling me in relation to what we talked with Susan previously, similar thing, like you could have that transformative experience through your son's love.
Yeah.
You know, because that's really what it is. Love is what transforms us. It's not just dying on the table. It's because they went to their side and touched that love that is unconditional, that somebody comes back changed, right? But that's why you don't need to die to have that experience. Opening to someone's love from the other side, like your son who truly loves you, can give you that without all the rest of the drama and the pain and the suffering and the damage to your body, because people have those near deaths, you know, they don't come back in a good shape.
And on Wednesday, there's a workshop that Pam and I are actually doing. It's a Reiki workshop. So even though Pam is a master Reiki teacher, we're gonna join it because we're supporting our friend who actually, she had an awakening when her brother 20 years ago died. And through him, they wrote a book, and now she does occupational healing, physical therapy, and Reiki healing. So
yeah, so and even if you've done Reiki before, you know, some of us just like to be in the energy.
Yes.
So it's always, and it'd be kind of cool to be in an online setting and just experience that in the comfort of your home and get to receive Reiki and give Reiki and, you know, just be in that space.
And again, that goes back to the vibrations. Those are the kind of things you do to be able to feel the love, you know? And so,
yeah,
okay,
Reiki to me is a great way to raise your vibration on a daily basis, a self-treatment you can give yourself.
So Vivian has a question.
Yes, my question.
Oh, she's muted.
Sorry, I went to press unmute right as you unmuted and then it muted you. Sorry.
It's all right. My question is, I keep seeing this image of myself and my husband in this ring, like holding hands, like crossing over. And if this ring is like a light, and he's looking back, like saying, he doesn't say anything, but it's like saying goodbye, but he's holding my hands along with him. I can't understand the message behind that.
You're standing in a ring of...
Yeah, it's like a ring. It's like a big light. It's like a big light. And he's holding my hands. And he's looking back. And I'm looking back, but we're crossing over, both of us.
Mm-hmm. And he's saying goodbye to.
He's not saying the words, but the look that he gives, it's like he's saying goodbye.
And he's giving that look to who?
To family.
Alan's not telling me what that is.
Like, I can't understand the message.
He's saying that what he will say is that your husband will clarify that in time, but to just let it go. He's saying your husband will clarify that. He wants your husband to be the one to tell you that, because you are beginning to be able to really talk to him, aren't you? You're beginning to.
Yeah.
So that's why Alan doesn't want to interject. He says he wants you to continue on that path of talking to him and listening to him. He says, so otherwise, he'd give you like the answer and then be like, okay, like you didn't get to develop that yourself.
Gotcha.
But he wants you to stay with that. Okay, and just ask your husband, so what does that mean? Or help me understand what that means, and be patient. He says, because remember, again, this is an incremental journey, so you have to be prepared that there are times when that happened with me too, but go, what? I don't get this. Like, what's that about? Why is it like, and I couldn't get the answer. And Alex said, just hang in there, just stay with it. Like, we have to be in the space to understand it or hear it or perceive it. And maybe we're not there yet. And because in the beginning, I would run to my friend Swati and go, what is he saying? Like, what about this? Or ask him this question. And Alex finally goes, wait, you have to just talk to me. Stop talking to her. Because how are you ever going to develop being able to talk to me if you keep running over to her and you're not developing the connection with me, right? And so just talk to me, even if you're not sure what I'm saying. Just keep talking, keep listening, keep talking, keep listening, just keep at it. And sure enough, like after a while, it's like, okay, I really got into that. But it takes time, and then it'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. So he says you'll never feel like, or well, not never ever, but he says you probably won't feel like you've reached like the pinnacle and that's it. Like, it's never going to get better than that. But you'll feel like, okay, this is really, really good. I really trust this. I'm in a good place, and it'll still get better. But he says, but you got to practice. But a lot of people do what you did and what I did too. Like, well, you tell me what.
Yes, it's like,
we just want to know.
And it's very strong, and it's like, it's continuous. It's been the last 3 days, very repetitive and very strong.
Alan's saying he's like teaching you. He's teaching you how to talk to it. He's teaching you. So use this as the teaching tool that he's giving you to stay with it. Don't try to bail out and go, you tell me the answer. Because he's also, your husband's also figuring out how to get through to you too. Like, how do I hone this communication? So, it's okay. It's like you're learning a dance. Like, how do we really do this dance we're doing together to talk to each other? This is not like a one-size-fits-all communication pattern. You're finding your unique way of how do you share and talk and be together and all that. So just take your time with it.
Okay.
But I know we kind of need to wrap up.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm sorry if we couldn't get to everybody. Sorry about that, Alan. I can feel Alan going, Pam, you have to get off. He'll come with this hook and go, get off of the stage.
Yes, that big gorilla arm from the Gong Show is coming.
I really said, time to take a break. You need to go sit down. He's done it before, and Swati would go, I see him pulling you off the camera. I go, I know, I can feel him. Pam, get off. So thank you so much for being here, for for just, Alan says, for putting up with him. He's quite quite a character, if you haven't figured that already, or you will soon. And know that we love you guys, and we're here. Oh, thank you. I see all your thank you. Sorry if we didn't.
Make sure to join us Friday and Saturday night. Next Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, and tell them a little bit about Gary, because I don't think I really did Gary Malkin justice about what he.
Well, Gary Malkin, if you go check out wisdomoftheworld.com and graceful, and then in there you'll find graceful passages. And basically, he's had a series of spiritually transformative experiences through hardship. He's a Emmy-winning music and movie producer. And the Graceful Passages is for people who are dying or have serious illnesses. And it's this amazing music that he gets inspiration from beyond. But then he also has people like Ram Dass and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross doing like what he calls transformances, which are like a spoken word from the other side
they're
through
like,
the music.
like attunements. They're like healings.
Yeah.
Come in,
And
right?
so it's designed to help people have an awakening on their journey, or maybe
on their journey.
Yeah. And so it's really just amazing, beautiful music that I love to listen to, just to listen to. But what we'll be talking about is all the tragedy that happened in his life. Plus, if you guys remember who Bernie Madoff, the financial scandal that lost all the celebrities' money, then he lost all that. So it's like through all this tragedy comes this beautiful, amazing music to help people. And so he's going to speak Friday night, and then Pam will speak Saturday night.
But Alan's saying that just shows you that tragedy on the other side of it can be transformation for people.
Yes.
Like they shift to another level. It's always an opportunity to go have a breakthrough, like a loss.
I personally believe that that's what it's all for.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
To break us apart so that we can be put back together the right way, made whole again, instead of continuing to do what we're doing that wasn't working.
All those wounds, Susan, all those wounds is where the light is now trying to come through in you, and it will the minute you just choose to feel it, because it's there whether you like it or not. So just let it come through you.
Oh, Edie's asking for Gary's full name and website.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to put that in,
yes,
you can put that in, and we'll kind of close down here. So you can go do that. And so thanks for joining us. And if you can come on Friday and Saturday, I believe we also, because I'll be recorded, we'll probably put that in the group so you can see that if you can't make it. Because I know for a lot of you, if you're on the East Coast, that's really late. So you'll get to watch it. Okay, don't worry about that. But we'd love for you to show up live in person. And
yes, there will be a replay of both of them.
So don't think you're going to miss them.
But it's funner live, because also if you want to ask, if you didn't get to ask them a question, you can, tonight you can ask her on Saturday, because we're going to try to make room for that. Right.
Yep. But really appreciate you being here, and love everybody. Thank you for sharing. Those of you new to the group who've shared, and you know who you are, who've shared your stories. We want more stories. We want more stories. The world will change the more of us share our stories, not just me and Alan. Alan already told me there'll be more people coming forward saying, that's happened to me too. I connect with my loved one too. I'm having a relationship with them too. That's how we'll help change the world, help open up people to the reality that nobody dies. They can still be together and have the most amazing relationship. And that's how everything changes. So, but we have to do it together. It's not just me and Alan doing this. He says that he's showing me like, we're just on the front line of this movement, taking all the hits. Like people are going, are you guys crazy? Like, what is this? Is this like, right? And so we're going to take the hit, but we need an army of people behind us who say, yeah, but we're doing this too. Like, it's real. Like, this is the truth. So we need everybody in this. This is not going to be just me and him. We're just part of the team, part of the group, leading the charge. I'm happy to do it.
Part of the wake-up call.
Yeah, as Vivian says, we have to be in this together. Yeah, we're all in this together. We're all in this life together. We're not solitary.
A Course in Miracles, which some of you know that I follow, none of us go home alone. So we have to wait for everybody. Everybody's going to wake up.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
Yep, that's right. And it's going to be sooner. It's going to be sooner. Alan's really happy. He says he's seen the future that's coming. He says you guys are going to be blown away. but just keep doing what you're doing, because it's not like necessarily a done deal, but we're getting there. So you got to stay focused and stay in your heart
and monitor your thoughts and choose love over fear.
Yes.
Especially if you turn on the news tonight. In fact, don't turn on the news.
Don't turn on the news. No, don't turn on the news. Don't turn on the news. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Right, we're sending you our love and appreciation. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you hopefully this week or some other time when we have another event. Okay. All right. So, night.
Aloha, everybody.
Aloha. Until next time. Bye-bye.